Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky, and today we're going to talk about some blush. I want to talk about my favorite blushes that fall into that pillow talk, kind of nudie, cool yet neutral, tad warm, very like just natural looking blushes, if that makes sense. Blushes are usually described as minky, pillow talk, kind of beigey, mauvey. Somewhere in there. It's hard to put my finger on. The best way I could describe it is to talk about blushes that fall into that pillow talk-esque quality where it's got a little bit of pink in there. It can pull warm, it can pull cool, it can go either way depending what you pair it with. And yeah, they're my favorite kind of blushes. So yeah, we're going to do another blush video today. And before we jump in, don't forget to like, subscribe. Let me know some of your favorite blushes down below. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the blush. Alright, I've got a little small box in front of me of blushes that I feel like fit the bill for that kind of pillow talk type of blush. That just soft, a little bit warm, a little bit cool, a little bit rosy, a little bit nude-like blush. Now these are definitely going to be geared towards the pale girl because, hello, ghost. But these are my favorite types of blushes to wear on my skin tone. I think they're just easy, effortless blushes that don't scream in your face, oh my goodness, blush. These are understated, soft blushes. Let's start with my number one, my absolute favorite. Best blush ever. This was also featured in my last video where I talk about warm blushes because this one is so very neutral that it can swing both ways. It can be warm, it can be kind of cool looking. It definitely has kind of a nude feel to it. Very native to like my skin tone type of color. And it's just one of my favorite blushes, hands down. I wore it on my wedding day blush. Like it's the number one for me, and that is Mood Exposure from Hourglass. This is described as like a mauvey berry blush, I believe is how they describe it. I think they describe it as a dusty mauve. Yeah, that's the word we're looking for. Muted, dusty blushes. Sometimes dusty is good when it comes to makeup. But anyway, Nude Exposure looks like it's super cool tone. It looks like it's going to be a mauve, but it has these beautiful kind of champagne swirls going through it, which give it a really beautiful, neutral, leaning, almost warm appearance, just depending on what it's paired with. There's something very magical about this blush shade that it lends itself so well to so many different makeup looks. And it's just one of those blushes you don't have to think about when you're putting it on. You don't have to worry about it clashing with anything. It just flows. And this is just one that I think can be built up, and if you maybe have like more of a medium skin tone, you could definitely pull it off without it looking ashy or too gray on the skin. That can happen with these types of shades. If you have a deeper skin tone, they can go a little gray because a lot of them do have a touch of purple in them. They don't quite have enough warmth and pigment to them, but the Hourglass one in Mood Exposure does have enough warmth in it and can really lend itself nicely to a bit of a deeper medium skin tone. Whereas, you know, me as a ghost can make it work. It's a little more versatile than some of the other ones I want to mention. But let me go ahead and give you a swatch of it. You see it has like a kiss of something, like a warm glow to it within the coolness of it. Like it has a kiss of peach in there or something. It's a kind of complex color, yet simple at the same time. And it just is an effortless shade. It works with so many looks. And it's one of my favorites. It's just always will be one of my favorites. It has a slight pearlescence to it, very much like the ambient lighting powders have. It's not super glowy, it's not glittery. It's very forgiving over texture, beautiful for mature skin. One of my number ones. Moving on to something that is a great dupe for that blush from the drugstore, and that is Milani's Berry Amore in the Baked Blush formula. Again, I mentioned this in the last video because it kind of can go either warm or cool depending what you put it with. and it is just gorgeous. It has just a little more glow than the Mood Exposure, but not over the top super duper glowy. You see it has the swirls in there. It has a little bit more of a golden swirl within. It also has some purpley swirls and just a very overall kind of dusty rose color. I think this one's also described as like a mauvey berry or something. But here is a swatch of it next to Mood Exposure. And this is also a shade that I think deeper skin tones could pull off as well, because it does have that bit more warmth, a bit more depth to it than the others. Again, it's a shade that is very easy to wear, goes with about 1,000,010 eye looks or lipstick pairings. It's just a very natural looking shade. All right, and the next one is from Tarte. This is one of their Amazonian clay blushes. This was I received in a birthday gift from Sephora years ago, and it got pushed to the back of the drawer and I totally forgot about it, and I pulled it out a few months ago and remembered why I loved it so much. This is in the shade Party with like 3 A's in here. I hate the name of this shade, but it is truly very much a nude type of blush shade. It's lightly pigmented. I think, light medium skin tones can wear this one. Ghosts like myself can definitely wear it. It is just such a pretty blush. It has a slight sheen within it, not glittery, but it does have a sheen to it. It is such a good blush. I think it's one of their kind of classic shades they've had forever. And yeah, I adore this one. Again, it's pretty similar. It has just a little bit more pink to it than the previous two. As you can see, it's a little bit more of a cool tone pink shade. But man, it's so pretty. Again, such an easy color to wear, especially on fair skin tones. Like my friend Chandra, who she is much tanner than me. Like she's a true medium skin tone, but she prefers cool tone colors. And this was one of her holy grail blushes forever, and it looked beautiful on her. Next we have from Milani. This is one of their rose blushes, and this is the shade 08 Tea Rose, I do believe. And I mean, these are just pretty to look at also. I like anything that's usually described as tea rose. That seems to suit my my taste in blush, and this one is just so pretty. Again, you can get a little swatch here. It's just a really nice dusty rose shade. It's kind of hard to swatch blushes because they're not super pigmented to get them to show up. You see, it's got just a little more pink in it. It's very light, just soft, kind of ethereal color. Very pretty. And these come in a lot of shades, and they're really a very nice matte formula if you're looking for a nice matte blush from the drugstore. And they're just pretty to look at. Also from Milani, we have the Cheek Kiss in 110 Nude Kiss. This is a cream blush, and this one also has that kind of neutral feel to it, where I think Nude Kiss is a great description of this, because you can't really tell, is it warm, is it cool? It just kind of reacts with whatever colors you have going on with your makeup, and just kind of works. There's something very neutral about this shade, and beautiful formula. I love the cream blushes from Milani. I think they have a beautiful formula, and this one has a little bit more vibrancy to it. Just a gorgeous color, beautiful formula, and these can be built up a little bit more, so they are a little more friendly to deeper skin tones, so you can get a little more versatility out of these for various skin tones. And man, that is just such a good blush. It is the one that I reach for on almost nearly a daily basis. And speaking of cream blushes, another one that's quite similar and very affordable is the Makeup Stick and the blush from Wet n Wild, and this is in the shade Floral Majority. I think this might be the only one that's actually like a true blush. It doesn't have any glitter or sparkle in it. It's kind of a satin finish. It doesn't go down to a full matte. The Milani cream blush does kind of have a powdery finish to it. It's very similar to like the Patrick Ta cream blushes. And this one is pretty similar in color, just a little bit warmer. So if you're looking for something just a kiss more warmth in it, again, it can be built up and get some nice pigmentation from it. Very pretty, very easy to use formula, blendable. It's not sticky unless you just really pile it on. It will feel a little sticky if you do that, but it's great for underpainting. Both of these you can underpaint really well with. I just love those shades. Like, it's very similar to Berry Amore actually, where Nude Kiss is quite similar to Mood Exposure. It's such a pretty color, isn't it? And it's just an effortless shade to reach for. These are the kind of blushes I like for when I can't think of what blush I want to wear. These are the ones that I grab. All right, and then we have from e.l.f. This is one of their bite-sized blushes, and this one is in, oh, where's the shade? Watermelon. I wouldn't describe this as watermelon personally, but anyway. This one is in the shade Watermelon, and it is just a gorgeous kind of mauve-y, nudie, dusty rose shade with a gorgeous highlight. And the highlighter in this is stunning, by the way. It is truly a really smooth, just pretty highlight that is very graceful on the skin. It's glowy, there's no glitter chunks in it, nothing like that. It's not frosty. It has a really lovely formula, and I would like to see them come out with like individual highlighters like this because they're so good. And in the pan, it looks so much deeper than what it actually is on the skin. And you can swirl these together, get a glowy blush look, wear them individually, just the matte side. The versatility with these, and they're only like around $3, you kind of cannot beat. So I'm going to give you a little swatcheroo of the blush shade. And here I'm going to run out of room. I don't know if you can even see that one, but it's definitely very soft, going more into the pink side of things, but it still has that dusty bit of rosy warmth in there as well. I just love that shade. It's very, very pretty. It pulls a little bit cooler than the other ones on my face. And I'll just go ahead and swatch the highlighter just to show you. I don't know if you will be able to see the glow from the highlight there. I doubt it, but there's the highlighter right next to it, and it's like a perfect match for my skin tone. And the blush I have on today, this is from Covergirl, and this is in the shade Soft Mink. This is one of their classic color blushes. These have been on the market probably since before I was born. This shade has probably been available since before I was born. And here is what it looks like. Classic Covergirl smell. This is one of the most nostalgic smells to me. It reminds me of my mom so much because she always wore Covergirl and she had like every shade of this available. But anyways, this is a gorgeous, soft, glowy blush. It doesn't have like sparkle or like a ton of shine to it, but it gives a gorgeous, just lit from within, hourglass-like glow to the face. They were ahead of their time with the blushes. Covergirl was out there doing it. And this shade is particularly soft and a little bit more cool tone than the others. But this shade's very, very neutral with a cool reflect in it. So it kind of makes it a little more cool tone because of the reflect. Hopefully that is in frame. This is the Covergirl one right there. But it has that kiss of warm in there where it's not so ashy looking or purple looking. That's the color I'm looking for, purple. Where in the pan you look at it, you think that's kind of purpley. But there's a warm in there. Oh, a bit of warmth in there. But it's the glow from it has a more of a cool bluish, more of a cool slight shift that makes it very, very versatile. It makes it a little more versatile to go with multiple looks. And it's what I have on the cheeks today. The glow from this is actually just gorgeous too. Very soft formula, very easy to work with, super blendable. It's one that you can't over apply either because it's such a gently pigmented color. Again, these come in multiple shades as well. They have a gorgeous kind of peachy apricot shade, or they used to anyway, that I loved. And lastly, this one's a little bit hard to find, but you can find it on Amazon. And it is the little trio here, the Instant Cheekbones from Covergirl and Sophisticated Sable. Very similar color story with this one. A little more warmth in it. Very, very good dupe for Pillow Talk. It has a deeper shade here that you can kind of add some, almost like a blushy contour effect with. This one that you can do is the pop on the cheeks, and then you have a highlighter on the end here. They were doing highlighters ages ago, and it's a beautiful formula. It's very smooth, very just pretty on the face. And all these blushes do have a slight sheen to them within here, but this one is definitely more punchy, like a highlighter. What I love about this one is it has that warmth in it, and then it can also feel very neutral at the same time. and work with just a multitude of looks and be so, so pretty on the skin. You can swirl into all three, do them individually. The versatility here, and it really does give you a nice sculpted look to the face. I love using this one on the eyes, face, like for a full monochromatic look. It's very easy to use again, and the shimmer in here is quite lovely, or the more highlight shade here. Very, very pretty, very brightening type of color. And the center one, you have a really pretty, soft, more of a warmy peach, warm, almost leaning into a peach shade. It's like a warm, dusty rose. And yeah, I absolutely just love, love, love this one. And I think you can still find this in stores occasionally. I don't think they've discontinued it necessarily. It's just not like on their website anymore, but like Walmart and stuff, you can find it. Because I'm pretty sure that's where I bought it, was Walmart. Let me know some of your blush suggestions down below in this color story. If there's any that if you have any that you can think of that I would probably like that are similar to this, let me know down below. And let me know if you want to see some lipsticks that are similar to this color story, because I have a handful of lipsticks I could pull, and they kind of fit in this kind of dusty rose color story. Let me know down below. And yeah, that is all for today. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.